Hello and welcome to Market House, the podcast where we talk all things Disney. My name's Caleb.
And I'm Caitlin.
This week we talk about some Disney movie updates,
A fire at EPCOT,
and how to prep for a Disneyland vacation in 2025. Let's dive in. All right, and this is episode number 171.
Welcome back as always, everybody.
Welcome back. Here we are again, another week of Disney chatter.
Yes.
A lot of stuff happening out there. It feels like it's been pretty dry on the news front for the last few weeks, and finally, Disney gives us something to talk about.
I know, some exciting news.
So we'll talk about that in a little bit, but before, let's give an update on life, what we're up to. And again, kind of a boring week in the fact that it's just a lot of work and hanging around the house, nothing too exciting, right? Am I missing something?
I don't think so. Work has finally settled down for the both of us, which is really nice. Maddie's doing great. From the title of this episode, you know that Disneyland is coming up, so we're going to be talking about how we're prepping for that today. A lot of excitement in the air. The season's changing. We had some rain come through this past week, and then actually for the first couple days this week, it's going to be like almost 80 degrees.
Yeah, today, the day we're recording this, it was like 73 degrees, and then tomorrow, it's 80 stinking degrees.
And then it tanks.
Plummets.
Yeah.
So,
which I don't mind, honestly.
I don't mind it as well because I am embracing the cold weather. Give me every bit of it that you can before the summer hits here because it lasts 8 months, and I can't stand the summer in Sacramento. All right, I'm going to stop complaining now. Let's get into Disney and all that it has in store for us. But first, let's talk about Patreon. MarketHousePodcast.com/support is where you can go join us over there. Our Patreon members are some of the coolest people you'll ever meet. Thank you so much to those folks who decide to support our show directly. Again, it is less than a cup of coffee. In today's economy, what is it? $9.50 for a cup of coffee at Starbucks now?
Yeah.
That's what it feels like, at least when I'm checking out, which we go very infrequently now because of how expensive it is. But anyways, it's $5 a month, and you get to, again, support the show directly. We roll all those funds right back into the show for fun softwares and products and things and cool things and all these great things for you guys to hopefully improve the show every single week. So thank you so much to those who join over there. And then you also get some exclusive content, which is fun. Also, consider leaving a review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. Both are a huge help to the show. You can leave a 5-star rating on Spotify and a 5-star rating and written review on Apple Podcasts. We will read it off on the show. If it's good, if it's bad, I'll cry about it and then maybe disappear for a few weeks and then come back. I'm just kidding. But
I hope not.
Yeah, I hope everyone's having a good time here. But if you spend a few minutes doing that, we would be forever grateful for you doing that.
Yes, please.
All right, let's get into that Disney news.
Let's do it. All right, first up, we have some exciting Disney movie updates. And let me tell you, we're going to start with a bang here. Pixar has just announced that there is going to be a Coco 2 releasing in 2029, and I am so excited.
I'm so excited. I'm like torn, right? It's like the annoying movie fan part of me is like, another sequel, come on. Like Pixar's known for that original stuff. We were watching Finding Nemo the other day because Maddie just got some Finding Nemo pajamas.
Yes.
And a new Finding Nemo crib sheet.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to get her in the Finding Nemo universe to enjoy it. No, but we just put it on in the background while we were hanging out. And I was just like, this was some of the best kid movie. Sorry, this was one of the best kid movies at the time. Like when you watched it, it was so good because it spoke to both adults and kids.
Right.
Pixar knew how to make a movie back in the day. And when I see those original ideas and I'm like, oh, I want more of that. I want more of those Finding Nemo magic, that kind of stuff. So a little bummed that it's another sequel. But at the same time, if they're going to make a sequel, Coco is such a great movie. Probably the last fantastic movie from Disney. Is it? The more I'm talking about it, is it Disney or is Pixar?
It's Pixar.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's confusing with the Disney and Pixar brand.
I always just say Disney Pixar because I never know which one's which.
I know, yeah.
But I will have to say, I'm very curious what route they're going to take with the sequel because I can't really, normally when a sequel comes out, you're like, okay, I think I know where they're going with this. For this one, I'm kind of like...
It was kind of it was like done. It kind of all was packaged up. So who knows what they're going to do. That was basically all they announced was that it's coming out in 29. Lee, excuse me if I butcher his name, Lee Unkrich, very important to the Pixar family. He has been around almost from the very beginning and has been a part of almost every single big Pixar movie up to this point, is returning to direct with Adrian Molina, who co-wrote the first Coco.
And this is very exciting because I feel like, as you mentioned before, how amazing the first Coco is. The fact that they're bringing these two people back on to do the second one makes me really excited.
Yeah, get the OG guys. It's
right?
Good. Yeah,
exactly.
Second, we've got some more movie news to talk about. Pixar released another trailer. Trailio for Elio last week. Let me read what this movie is about if you've forgotten. Elio is an underdog with an active imagination, finds himself inadvertently beamed up to the Communiverse, an interplanetary organization with representatives from galaxies far and wide. Mistakenly identified as Earth's ambassador to the rest of the universe, he starts to form new bonds with eccentric aliens while discovering who he's truly meant to be.
It looks really fun and cute for the littles, so
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it.
It looks interesting. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's going to be a slam dunk, but it looks okay from the trailers we've seen. Again, haven't seen it yet. This releases on June 20th of 2025. So what, in a few months here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, we'll see it, I bet. The trailer, I'm a little like with the 8-year-old humor. Like, I know it's made for kids.
I know, but you have to remember it. Like you said, it's for kids.
But let me rewind.
Yeah.
Finding Nemo, did it have fart jokes in it? No.
I mean, kind of, yeah, with the little squid. She's like, you made me ink.
But it wasn't like,
no, Caleb, yes, you were just younger and didn't pay attention.
I want to complain about something, so let me complain about it. You're right. I'm maybe picking here, but anyways, it looks decent. And then finally, let's talk about the live action Snow White. This just released as of the weekend we're recording this. And okay, let's talk about it. It's receiving not so great reviews online. I feel like it's so bad, the reviews, that it may be getting review bombed, as in people are just doing it because it's the cool thing to do.
That's unfortunate.
I have not seen it yet, so we cannot pass judgment yet. All I can say is, box office wise, not great. It was kind of a flop so far. Cost a lot of money to make, over I think $200 million, and I think opening weekend, don't quote me on this, but it was in the mid 30s million. Very underwhelming for a Disney movie. I know from the past, all I can say is we know the live actions aren't fantastic. I just we went over to family's house and my brother was there and he actually saw it already. And I think he said he walked away like there were some really bad parts about it, but also was like, it was okay. Like it wasn't, he didn't hate it and he didn't love it either.
I feel like this movie specifically, taking the live action portion in Disney's history with live action out of it, I feel like from the beginning, which those who've been around and following this film know that it's been kind of centered around a lot of negativity.
A lot of controversy in this
which
one.
We're not going to get into that, but there's been a lot of negativity, like I mentioned, in controversy, as Caleb just mentioned. And it's kind of one of those things where I know a lot of people who haven't seen it who are already dissing on it. And so I don't like to go that far negative when it comes to things I haven't seen, because I told Caleb, and this is completely honest with you, if I would have removed all the negative things that I heard about it and just watched the trailer, I would have been like super excited for it. I think that girl can sing so beautifully. Like, her voice is absolutely stellar. I love a lot of the people in it. Again, the classic Snow White storyline that Walt did, like, you just can't beat the history of that. Again, as Caleb mentioned with live action, they usually aren't the best, but I have to admit, like, I am really excited to see it. I'm sure there are things that are going to be like, that was silly or that wasn't the best, but overall, there were some choices that I know we're going to talk about in a second that they made that was quite interesting, but I feel like a lot of the live actions, I'm kind of like, meh, but this one, I'm kind of like, it has hope for me, at least.
Okay. We'll pass judgment when we see it and we kind of give it a review maybe. But again, from what we're seeing, it's not great. And then from personal experience from a family member saying it was decent. Maybe it's not as bad as what the internet is making out to be. I was really looking forward to it because it was the same guys that wrote the music for The Greatest Showman. Because right when we heard the song they released on YouTube for the movie, I was like, this is really good, actually.
Waiting on a Wish?
Yeah.
It's that one.
I liked it a lot.
So good.
And I immediately said, this reminds me of The Greatest Showman. Looked it up, same guys. So I like the way they write their stuff. It's fun. It's, all catchy. So I'm a little bummed that maybe the movie's not the greatest. But anyways, that came out. Let us know if you've seen it, what your thoughts were. But again, another live action. I wonder what your thoughts are. All right, our next news story is over in EPCOT, my favorite Disney park on the East Coast. Unfortunately, there was a fire there.
Yeah, what a way to intro. What a transition.
It caught on fire. No, there was a fire behind the France Pavilion on Saturday, March 22nd. Apparently, a walk-in cooler caught fire and was putting off giant black plumes of smoke that you could see all around the park. And so, rightfully so, they evacuated the entire pavilion, first starting with Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, and got everyone off there, closed the pavilion down for a few hours. Apparently, they put it out very quickly. No one was injured, so nothing serious, but it looked very jarring and scary
Yeah.
in pictures and videos.
Mhm.
But again, pretty uneventful, just a walk-in cooler. I have no idea how that thing catches fire, maybe an electrical issue, but I'm glad it was backstage. No one was injured, and really nothing else to talk about. I mean, what did you think when you saw the pictures?
It looked a lot worse than it actually was.
I know, it
When
made it seem like it was a building or
Well,
something.
yeah, when I saw the video on Instagram, it was literally just like Caleb mentioned, this huge black cloud of smoke. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Epcot's entirely on fire. And then Caleb, of course, is good to go to reality rather than me just being like in fantasy world. And he's like, no, it's just a cooler. Like everything's okay. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But people on Instagram, they're like, oh
I
my
know.
gosh.
Half the park's on fire. We're going to lose it. No, not a big deal.
All right, for our final news story, we have some exciting news over in California Adventure. We have some self-checkout going on.
I don't know if it's exciting. I wouldn't use that word, but
I mean, it could be nice that there's
Not
long
really.
lines.
not really. Let me tell you why.
You don't like the self-checkout line at like Target and stuff?
Let me tell you why. And let me tell you. At stores, 99% of the time, I'm using self-checkout. Even if I have 46 items.
That's what I'm saying.
This one over here is the worst.
Me?
You love using self-checkout when we go full-on grocery shopping and we have a full cart and you're like, I want to scan all these by myself.
Do you know what the reason is?
Why?
Number one, as a kid, I loved scanning things. Like I had my little like cash register and
We're
doing
well
scans.
past being kids now.
But you know what? Honestly, the real thing is I like packing my own bags. Like I like putting the cold stuff with the cold stuff because I've had some friends at the, the grocery store
Your buddies?
who have smashed my food and I have never forgave them for it. So
Okay.
I like doing my own thing.
Sorry, Bill from Safeway. I'm just kidding. Okay, let's get into this self-checkout thing. So at Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta, they are trying a new self-checkout option, a couple of stations where you can set your tray down filled with food, and it uses some kind of imaging AI stuff to automatically check you out. So it can register what's on your tray and then ring you up for it, and you pay with a credit card, whatever, and you go on your merry way.
It's very similar to Uniqlo in Disney Springs.
Yes, very similar. You can kind of just dump all your clothes in this bin and it rings you up.
Yeah.
But problem with this technology is that it's not perfect and you have to have everything separated out perfectly for it to register.
Gotcha.
My problem is that there are kids at the parks with your family and they set their tray down. It may not be perfect. So then the self-checkout line becomes not very efficient and very quick, and it just becomes a headache and something you have to fix. So they have a cast member assigned to help people with potential problems. Doesn't feel like a great solution.
I mean, it's no different than the Target stuff, though.
Kind of. But let's talk about Disney, and it's that Disney feel. I don't know if self-checkout, again, maybe it's that weird thing in my head. It doesn't feel very like Disney-ish.
That I can see because, I mean, Disney's customer service is really great. Usually.
That's what I'm saying. Those cast members are usually awesome and very efficient, very quick.
Yeah.
You can have a small little conversation with them, and they get you on your merry way, and there's no mistakes made 99.9% of the time.
Yeah.
This I can feel like being a headache because, let me tell you, in Disney World, they tried this for, I guess, a couple of weeks, and they never brought it back because, I don't know, I guess it wasn't very successful. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm, again, a grumpy old man yelling at cloud. I may be that right now.
We'll try it.
But I guess we should try it.
Yeah.
If they have gluten-free food for me. But anyways, self-checkout, we'll see how it goes over in DCA. All right, and that brings us to our main segment of this week's episode, and that is how to prep for a Disneyland vacation in 2025.
The best prep you will ever do.
Yeah.
Is prepping for a Disney vacation.
Prepping for a Disney vacation.
Yes.
I agree. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Disney Cruise is pretty up there.
That's why I said Disney vacation.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, Disney vacation. But specifically, we're talking about Disneyland because we're getting ready to go on a trip here in the next couple of weeks. We will be down at Disneyland enjoying that SoCal sun and amazing Disneyland magic. So let's talk about how to do this. We'll tell you what we do to prep for our trips, and hopefully it helps you on your next Disneyland vacation. Okay, Caitlin, you are the prepper. I kind of do the travel portion of it, so I will pipe in if you want opinions or tips on that.
Okay.
But you handle Maddie, me, honestly, 80% of my stuff, and more of the just everything else. So I think
That's
you're the
sweet, but not true. But
yeah,
okay.
you're the expert on this stuff.
Okay, so first up, let's just start with dining reservations because I think that's a very important part of your Disney vacation. If you're like Caleb and I, we love Disney food and we have very big favorites when it comes to sit-down restaurants. If you are not aware, you can book your Disney reservations for dining 60 days in advance. Now, some go faster than others. Some you don't even need to worry about. You can literally get a reservation at the restaurant, usually a week before. So just depending on what you're looking for, if you're trying to get into like Lamplight Lounge or a specific time at Carthay Circle, or you're trying to get into Oga's, those are something that I highly recommend you doing in advance and being on top of time-wise, because for those who
It fills
like me,
up.
it
Yeah.
fills up quickly.
Caitlin will wake up like, four. And okay, another note really quick on dining reservations is they release them in like waves. So
Yeah.
they're not going to release every single dining reservation the minute it hits whatever, 7 a.m. Pacific time.
Mhm.
They will do it over like every hour. They'll release just little bits. I don't know if there's an exact science to it,
Mhm.
but all I know is that like just because you missed out at 4 a.m. doesn't mean you might be able to get, one at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So it's weird. Just be ready to press your phone a ton.
Yeah, I would recommend though is if you do go to book a reservation and for whatever reason it's not there for the time that you need on that day, or for example, if you have a large group, definitely recommend checking the week of your trip, just kind of going through refreshing, because again, a lot of people are canceling, moving things around as it gets closer to their vacation. So definitely keep that in mind. But there's also one thing I did want to mention when it comes to Disney reservations for dining. Disney has a new feature on there that I noticed the past couple months where they want you to add if you have an infant as part of your total like members that are joining the party. So it used to be like, for example, if Caleb, our daughter, and I were going, we would only put 2, right? Because she's a baby. They want to know if an infant is going in the reservation. And I think they're doing that because I think people were kind of like doing these large groups and not seeing that their kids were going to be there and being like, well, it's the only thing I could get. So, you know what I'm trying to say?
Really? Yeah.
That's probably not the exact reason, but I could see people kind of using the system to get multiple people into a reservation when they only had a certain number available. But that is one thing that we have to do. So we have to register for 3 people when we're doing a dining reservation now instead of just doing 2. Because I think there's a little note that pops up that says children under 2, please mark on there. So just keep that in mind when you are doing a reservation, because I'm sure cast members are being a little more strict when it comes to that.
Cool. Thank you. Next up, let's talk about, I'm kind of doing this in sequential order, like what happens next. Let's talk about the whole hotel and flight check-in process. That's kind of 24 hours in advance, so I'm maybe skipping around here. But just kind of be mindful of it. It's something that you can kind of forget. You can get stuck with a really bad hotel room, or, with Southwest, if you check in really late, that dreaded C boarding group and being stuck in the back of the plane like the cattle they treat us as. Which really quickly, before we move too forward, Southwest, shame on you. Shame on you.
I know. I was talking to a couple people on Instagram about that because they're just like, what the heck happened?
They've never been my favorite airline because of the whole, I kind of like having an assigned seat and stuff. So if I have to fly for work and stuff, I try and avoid Southwest. But the free bags were really nice, especially with the little one. When we were flying down to Disneyland, they have the best options out of Sacramento down to SoCal. You could get 2 free bags per person. So if we bought a ticket for Maddie and stuff, you have 6 flipping bags to check. And even if we're going for 2 nights, Caitlin's going to take advantage of all 6 bags. She'll be like, this one's for her toys. This bag is for her diapers.
There's nothing wrong with being prepared. Okay. Leave me alone.
Half the house goes in moving boxes and move down there. So anyways, it's just a huge bummer they're taking those away. And, they devalued the points. So those are basically worthless now. It just stinks. So anyways, let's move on.
But I feel like that is an important note because moving forward, that is going to be a change that you're going to see with Southwest. So if you are flying Southwest, definitely keep that in mind when you are packing bags, especially for those. We have tons of family and friends and followers like you guys who always say that you guys take extra room for merch to bring back from the parks. It could cost you a lot to have that extra bag. So just keep that in mind when you are packing.
Yes, pack a little lighter because they're going to start charging for it. Okay, let's move on to packing. Let me tell you, Caitlin knows this. I get really grouchy when it's time to pack. It is my least favorite thing on the planet. I don't know why I don't like I just don't like it.
I think it's just probably stressful for you.
It's really stressful because I don't want to like forget something. I don't like thinking and dreading this. I don't know. I just don't like it.
Yeah. Well, so you're really good at it. So I don't know why you don't like it.
You're better because you remember everything.
So a couple things that I do to kind of make sure that I keep my head on correctly and not let it spin. Because again, when you're packing for multiple people, it could be one of those things. And when I say that, I'm not packing for Caleb.
No,
Caleb packs his own stuff.
I do play around. I do pack my own. I'm a big boy. I pack it.
So kind of what I do, my routine is a couple weeks in advance, I'm obviously watching the weather every single day, and I'm just making sure, like, hey, is it going to be hot? Is it going to be raining? Is it going to be freezing?
And when she says throughout the week, it's like 8 times per day.
Yeah, because
we got a meteorologist in the house.
In my mind, I want to know how often is it changing? What's the medium here? Okay.
Oh my God.
So basically what I do is I check the weather, I keep an eye on that, but I also kind of start going through the things that we usually take to the park. For example, if it's things that we use daily at home, whether it's snacks for a little one or it's I don't know, X, Y, and Z. I make sure that we have enough of that when the time comes to pack, because we've all been there. We go to pack something and we're like, we don't have enough of shampoo or whatever it is. So prior to building that list, I kind of get like a mental note of like, okay, I'm going to be packing this just to make sure that we have it. Comes in handy when you have the little one. Next up, Caleb thinks I'm an old soul when it comes to it. I love doing a packing list and I love writing it. Okay. He's more digital. I love being able to write everything down and cross it off when I packed it. I have a whole highlighting system. I do this like a week to 2 weeks in advance with writing everything down. So that way I have enough time when I'm just going throughout my day, throughout the week. If I forget something, which I have multiple times, I just quickly add it to that list. It's less stressful than doing it. Like, let's say you're doing the list the night before. That can just get incredibly, like, you have enough going on. The last thing you want to do is write a list. That's when you forget things, so on and so forth. I love doing categories when it comes to the list. Like, for example, obviously clothes, toiletries, must-need items. Like, don't forget these. If you're going to Disney World, it could be like the magic bands or just like the little things that your brain's not really thinking about. I think it's just great. And then also don't overpack like I do. I love to be prepared, but I have been the victim of multiple times just packing things that we shouldn't have, and it takes space up in the bag. And especially when Southwest is going to be charging like they are for bags, I don't want to do that. And it just, no one likes having a ton of bags.
No.
You know?
And I also don't like, I open up a bag and an entire side hasn't been opened the entire trip.
Right? That's not true.
You're like,
Oh my
I brought...
gosh. You know what? I would love for you to pack for Maddie.
I brought a blow up raft just in case the hotel floods. I brought...
Oh my gosh.
I'm just kidding.
That's
You
not true.
do keep us very organized. I appreciate you. I joke, I kid, but really, you bring everything. I appreciate that. So, packing, again, kind of unique to your family. So you do what you need to do.
The last thing I wanted to mention though
about
weather, specifically for Anaheim, and I guess you could say the same thing for Orlando. Never trust the weather. If it says it's going to be mid-70s, it's going to be hot. And it's going to be chilly at night.
Yeah, there's always just the number it shows you on the app, right? Just like 72.
Yeah.
But then when you scroll down a little further and you look at the more minute details, it will say the real feel. This factors in humidity, factors in the UV index, and that will almost always be 3 to 5 degrees more than what it states, at least for Anaheim on the app. So if it says 72, it will most likely be 76, 77, 78 real feel, excuse me. So it'll feel way warmer than probably where you're coming from.
Right.
Just based on what it is. So anyways, that's how it works. So when we see that magic, like, oh, it's 78, beautiful. It'll be like, dear Lord, I'm melting. It's 84 outside. Okay, there's that. Write a list of must-dos for the trip. Honestly, I'm not fantastic about this. I need to get better. But in my opinion, we need to sit down and write the must-do attractions that we want to hit, the must-eat food items, stuff that we're like, okay, we saw something on Instagram that we want to try. When you're in the middle of the park and you're on your app, you're trying to get a lightning lane, what have you, it's hard to remember like we're supposed to get the Snickers macaron or something like that. It's hard to remember all that. So make a list so you can just open up in your notes app and just go, oh, shoot, I want to have this for lunch. Next is pictures. Get a good list of picture spots you want to get or some specific pictures of the family you want to get. Again, it's when you get caught up in the moment and you get busy, it's hard to organize that in your head. And then finally, a list of characters you want to meet. We talk about this all the time with Maddie, like, oh, she wants to meet this person. Oh, we should take her to meet this person. And then it just gets lost in the mix.
Yeah, and especially because a lot of the characters, some specifically are in DCA, like Moana is only in DCA, not in Disneyland. So really understanding where they are prior to going on your trip, because Caleb and I are huge on don't try to plan your trip when you're there. Like kind of just plan out a couple things that you want to do. Again, don't set everything in stone that you're going to knock everything out, because I promise you will not. But just take time to do it in advance. And that way you're at the park, you don't have to worry about and stress.
Yeah, and that's the kind of the bummer part about Disneyland is that it used to be the park of spontaneity. It used to be somewhere you could go and just kind of see where the day takes you, which was the best part of it. In my opinion, it was the smaller, charming, let's see what happens park. And then Disney World was the one you planned months in advance, and you got your park reservations a year in advance and all this stuff, or food reservations, dining. And Disneyland was the opposite, but now it has become a planning park. I feel like it's Disney World Junior, and you still have to put some planning in and way more than what you used to. So I'm still getting used to that. Honestly, I still remember the old days of like you just show up and things happen. Not the case anymore. And then finally, a grocery order. So even if you're not, we don't do full-on groceries like sandwich stuff. We just snacky items and just stuff to snack on in the room, especially with the little one. Maddie is in that, she loves snacking. Like throughout the day, you got to keep that girl fed or else she gets a little cranky. And so, Caitlin has these puffs that she eats, good old classic Cheerios, I eat gluten free. I have to because of celiac. So I need to bring celiac friendly snacks with me because Disneyland has some stuff, but not a ton.
Specifically like treats, because there isn't an abundance other than ice cream for you to eat. So you'll get like a little.
And let me tell you, ice cream multiple times a day is not advised. That much dairy is not good for the soul.
But I also recommend though, even though we like to do the snacky route, if you want to get like food items, like actual lunch meal items for your family, that's actually a great idea as well, because Disney, if you do not know, they allow you to bring in food and drinks, which is really great. And there's a ton of eating locations that you can sit down with your family and have a lunch, breakfast, dinner, whatever it is.
Yes, you can do that. I know there are some rules, so don't go in willy-nilly and think you can bring a full-on igloo cooler. I know there's like size requirements and all that good stuff. So just keep in mind, just look at the rules first before bringing in a buffet for the family, but you can do that. And I've seen a ton of people do that in that fun picnic section outside of the park. It's kind of hidden. And a lot of people with their dogs and stuff go out and eat picnic
which
lunches,
is really nice.
Which is nice. Sometimes, you know what? You cannot beat a PB&J.
No, especially right now, we're obsessed with PB&Js.
I love PB&J.
We're hooked on blueberry like jelly right now.
Yeah, Caitlin gets the stuff from Mads that doesn't have like, dude, I didn't realize having a child has opened my eyes to the amount of things that have like added sugar. Like jelly is like sugar with a little bit of fruit. It's wild.
I mean, it's delicious.
So we buy this stuff that's a little better for Mads, and I've been stealing it from her, and it is delicious.
It's delicious. It has like full on blueberry. Blueberries.
Sorry, we're
blueberry
talking about
jelly and peanut butter. Just little things like that. It's really great to just. Because again, food prices are expensive at Disneyland, especially if you're like just feeding a big family. So just bringing in options is really great.
Yes, it is. And then finally, let's talk about setting expectations and going with the flow. I just mentioned that you kind of can't go with the flow anymore at Disneyland, but just kind of that attitude of like, whatever happens, happens. It is bound to happen. You're going to be in line for Guardians and it's going to shut down and you're going to go, great, we wasted 30 minutes and now the ride we want to go on is shut down. What do we do? Just kind of have that, things are going to happen and just kind of go with it. Like, it's okay. It's hard in the moment. I know you spent an arm and a leg to be there, and the kids may be cranky and stuff, but just it's that attitude of like, we're just going to go down there and have fun no matter what it throws at us. That's what helps us get through the day, because there will be frustrating moments, but overall, you're having a magical time at Disneyland.
And if I can speak to all the parents out there from my limited experience of only a couple times taking Maddie to the park, I just wanted to say, always remember to not make it I have to have the most amazing trip for my child. It needs to be perfect. Everything needs to be amazing. That 100% is not true. As Caleb mentioned, things are going to come up, but it's the way you react and how you handle the situation and choose to just have a smile on your face. Disneyland is amazing as it is, and you just being there with your family and friends is all it is and all it needs to be. So from our experience, just keep a smile on, just have fun. Don't worry about the lines. It can be annoying and frustrating, but just look to the brighter side of things. Go get popcorn.
Yeah, and honestly, like we talked about this over on Adventures and Mousecapades, our friends over there, but we talked about specifically like how Disneyland, the things that I remember about our trips to Disneyland, honestly it's maybe 10% of the rides and attractions and characters we met. 90% of it are the little moments of like, Maddie laughing and having a good time at dinner at Naples, or, us sitting there and watching the Cars ride while eating at Flo's. Like, it's the little moments. Yeah, and like walking past and Maddie seeing, a character walking down, Pinocchio walked past us in Fantasyland. Again, it wasn't a meet and greet that we waited in line for. He just walked past and Maddie freaked out. So those little moments are what I remember and take away from the trip, way less so the ride on Casey Jr. or something. Like, those are fun. It's just the little moments are more important in my mind for the long run. Yeah.
And don't think that you have to buy all the lightning lanes and the expensive this, the expensive that, the expensive dining routine, like none of that. Just spend time with the family, walk around the park.
Absolutely.
It's just, that's all that
Soak
matters.
it up. It's a fun time. So that is how we prep for a trip. Hopefully that helps you on your next Disneyland vacation. Let us know when you're going next. We love getting excited with our listeners and people that we know on their next trip. Wow. It's a very loud car driving by. Thank you, sports car owner. But anyways, let us know, when you're going on our next trip. We'd love to celebrate with you.
And speaking of, thank you so much. We had someone reach out that's at Disneyland Paris and send us a picture of Market House, which was awesome.
Super flippin' cool. Number one, jealous you're in Paris. I'd love to be there right now. And then number two, thank you for kind of remembering us on your Disneyland vacation,
it's awesome.
Or Disneyland Paris with that little shout out. So appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening. You can join us over on Instagram and Threads at Market House Podcast. Make sure to follow us over there for pictures from the park In exciting news and announcements, consider leaving a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Both are a huge help to the show. We have a Patreon, markethousepodcast.com/support is where you can join us over there. Huge shout out to our patrons, Patreon members over there. You guys mean the world to us. Remember, use our Getaway Today link for your future trip bookings. Check out the episode details for that link and use code MarketHouse10 to save an additional $10 on your trip. Join us next week. Actually, hold on. We won't be around next week. We'll be in Disneyland. So taking a week off. So if you don't see us, don't freak out. We'll be back the following week.
With a trip report.
Bye.
Bye.